Yo, I'm getting new peripherals, and my mousepad got here yesterday, so I figured why not compare it to my old one? I'm also going to get a new mouse and keyboard, so subscribe if you want to see those comparison videos too. To make sure that the test is consistent, I'll be using the same mouse, the Glorious Model O wireless with glass skates. My old mousepad was a Glorious IcePad designed for speed, and it excelled really well for tracking games like Apex and Overwatch, but I've been wanting to play Valorant, so apparently all the pros use control pads, so I decided to get this Artisan Type-99. It solves a couple complaints I have with the Glorious IcePad. Any moisture or oils that touch the surface don't get absorbed and drastically affect the glide and consistency. I have to clean this pad every day just to use it properly. With the Type 99, I can now use my bare arm on the surface, and with the IcePad I had to use a sleeve, and it wasn't as convenient, especially when sweat would build up in the sleeve itself. The Type 99 is a control pad, meaning it's much slower, designed for more stopping power and flick consistency, but it doesn't sacrifice too much smoothness for tracking. It's on the slower end of the Artisan pad lineup, but with the ability to buy decently cheap mouse skates nowadays, it's pretty easy to adjust the feeling of glide and control more consistently with a cloth pad. With that being said, I used the Voltaic Benchmarks to test the performance of these two pads. I'll quickly go over the spreadsheet for the Voltaic Benchmarks. There are 3 categories with 6 total subcategories. There are 2 scenarios for each subcategory. Each one of these is a scenario, which is a custom map inside of Kovaaks. You can train your aim, but also jot down your score, and it will give you a result to place you in a rank dependent on your score. We're not going to worry about the ranks today. We're just looking at comparing our scores from each scenario with each mousepad. Initially, I tested each pad running through the benchmarks once. I used the IcePad first and then the cloth pad, but this isn't enough data to conclude anything substantial, so I needed to run through them again. On my second run, I decided to play each scenario twice in a row and record my highest score. This way, I could be a little bit more prepared and familiar with the scenario and really try my best the second time around. After recording my scores, I decided to put the IcePad score under the high score column and the Type 99 scores under the average score column. And the results are pretty close, but the Artisan edges out the win. It kind of surprised me, actually. I thought that because I had more practice on the IcePad, that I would probably do better with it. But if anything, the cloth pad should theoretically be better at the more static and flicking scenarios. However, the IcePad edged out a win in the multi-click 120 scenario in the static clicking category. To be fair though, the cloth pad did much better overall, except for reactive tracking. This makes a lot of sense, because in reactive tracking, you are constantly moving and changing the pace at which you're moving. And the IcePad makes that really easy, because there's hardly any traction, and you can change direction in an instant. However, the cloth pad felt better to use. The reason why is because the texture of the pad gave me reference for how the mouse was moving and where it was. With the IcePad, it feels like the mouse is floating, and when you move it, there's not really any friction to tell you how much you're moving. You just have to rely on where your hand is in space. Added with the fact that I don't have to wear an arm sleeve anymore or worry about sweat, the cloth pad was a good choice. If you like this video, consider subscribing and check out my live streams. I'm planning to aim train a lot, as well as play Valorant. Comment what you think my closer should be, and maybe I'll use it going forward.